An Umrah Journey podcast. Safar, 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 Safar to Marwa, Safar to Marwa. An Umrah Journey podcast.
Okay, Alhamdulillah we are back. So tadi kita dah berbual macam mana how they handle it from the farm, macam mana dia sayang, belai, dia manjakan binatang-binatang tu hari-hari masuk kindergarten, keluar kindergarten kan.
But
Jadi,
before that, kita nak kena ni sponsor. So this episode is sponsored by Aizah Homes. Berapakah nilai rumah anda? Jawapannya boleh menentukan langkah anda yang seterusnya. So whether you're buying, selling or planning in your future, Aizah Homes is here to guide you in every step of the way. Aizah Home, your property journey begins here. You may reach out to SRI Aizah at 9873-5402. Silakan.
nah, so you started back the initiative of bringing back kambing live Qurban to Singapore after COVID. So before COVID, we have about last in record that we can find 26 mosques in 2018 offering 485 each, about 3,007 in total livestock compared to in the early 2000 yang all over Singapore. At least satu masjid. Dulu I was volunteering for tentera for the longest time, daripada umur 11 tahun lah, for a very long time. I can remember every year at least 100 plus. And kita volunteer pun banyak, dan Alhamdulillah kambing-kambing pun semua sihat-sihat. But after that the numbers drop, and then COVID hit, terus
No
more
kambing.
kambing at all. So what made you jom startkan balik?
Ini soal fardu kifayah jugalah. So we are in the business of raising livestock. Kita run farms in multiple countries, dan kita juga import and export animals in all of these countries. Jadi kita lebih kurang tahu regulation in all of these different countries and how they can import and export to one another, whether they can or they cannot. Kita tahulah protokol-protokol tu. Jadi bila kita ni tengok dekat Singapore tak ada orang melakukan, then it becomes a question mark of, if I don't do this, salah ke tidak? Dosa ke tidak? Kalau kita faham untuk cara nak buat benda ni, and everybody is asking us, can you bring it? You boleh bantu tak? Kita nak tegakkan syiar Islam, kita nak adakan tumpah darahnya kambing tu dekat negeri sendiri. Apa cara dia? Takkan tak boleh nak bantu? Then many of that kind of questions make us think we really need to do this.
So the story is such that because we do overseas Qurban in all other locations, right? And we see how the impact it does to the community. Because kita bantu orang-orang asnaf, or the zakat beneficiaries, orang-orang susah ni semua. So we always have the thought, what are we doing in Singapore? Singapore pun ada orang susah.
Betul.
Right? You may think that this is like the finest country in the world. It is, but it also means there's a lot of people that falls through the crack and also needs help. So when he one of the year he's like, kita tak pernah buat Qurban kat Singapore. And I'm like, Singapore I don't think they'll support lah. He's like, why don't we just try? So I'm like, try? Macam mana? Okay, let's find out. So kita macam
you risk taker
together probably lah. Dia risk taker, I manage the risk a little bit, and then we make that decision together. Right? So we're like, macam mana okay lah, kita cuba write in lah. So we write in, but in the back we're still planning. That first thing we did kat Awih dah. Berapa kambing nak bawa masuk? I think a small plane, probably 300. We start with 320. 320. So we wrote into all the agencies,
the necessary
agencies, and they were also like, you want to do this? And we're like, we're going to do it at a private space. It has nothing to do with like mosque and all that, because we know mosque was not ready. So we had to find a private space to do it. So we faced so many hurdles. This one said no, this one said no, this one said no, and we're like, but tell me the reason why. What is making it no, and how do I make it into a yes? So we push. Kita macam rebels lah. We keep pushing and pushing and pushing.
Determined
and very determined, right? And then we just went full on. Kita belum dapat permit tau ni. Belum dapat. But we just lock the plane. We say we're going to bring in these animals. Just
Beli.
get that going.
Yeah.
Whatever happens lah. Worst comes to worst,
Masya
we
Allah.
just say, okay, that plane tak payah depart. Just
Send to
turn back to
Malaysia.
the farm.
I see.
We make losses then ala kulli hal. That's our challenges, right?
Yeah.
So I think it was, so we went on and on about it until they said, okay, fine, let's do the inspection. So we did tentage and everything. We set everything up. So they came, they made certain adjustments, and they're like, okay, all right, I think this is a go. And that was 2 weeks before the animals arrived. And we were not able to sell before. How can you sell before you dapat all your
Betul.
requirements, kan?
Correct.
So we only had 2 weeks,
2 weeks
to
to
sell.
sell 320 animals.
320 animals.
And harga masa tu?
And harga that time was 680.
Masya Allah.
Right, 680 because of all the logistical requirements.
Correct lah.
And that was also the year we hear 600 lebih kambing kat Australia baru berapa je. Itu kambing kat Australia,
Kambing
brother.
Australia tu $60 je. Habis dia dah jalan kaki ke apa?
Dia dah naik kapal terbang, brother.
Betul. Dia bukan plup datang sini.
Saya ingat satu masa tu kita tunggu kambing tak sampai. Rupanya kalau betul lah cerita dia, kambing kargo tu dah lama sangat. Kambing tu sampai lambat. So harga tu murah. After that year, kambing sampai pakai kapal terbang, kena ada pasport, mahal sikit.
Ada pasport mahal.
Then
Kambing ada
after
pasport.
COVID,
Lagi
terus lagi
Lagi
mahal.
mahal.
Ya.
Correct.
Kita naik kapal terbang Scoot pergi Australia, return pun dah berapa?
Ya.
Baru berapa je?
Untuk satu orang.
Satu orang.
You bayangkan satu kapal terbang?
Satu kapal terbang
Dengan
you
baggage
cater
sekali beli.
untuk special untuk dia tau.
Dia punya kandang lagi is
Nak siapkan dia punya crate. Crate is pine wood. Kalau kayu biasa tak boleh tahan.
Ya.
And then you punya vet punya charges, logistics charges, you nak
All the
kena bayar
health
terminal charges, health checks. You nak make sure binatang tu yang you bawa ni of a certain weight, dia nak kena selection lagi kat sana. And then makanan dia lagi in quarantine, in transit, in flight.
when you talk about weight, dia after shaving ke before shaving? After shaving.
Itu yang orang tak faham. Ni orang suka cakap yang bukan-bukan ni lah. Kita ambil kambing tu, kenapa tak ada bulu? Kenapa cukur? Kau nak aku timbang tu bulu, charge kau kilo dia.
And then go to waste. Because it has to be waste.
It has to be real weight lah. Kita cukur bulu dia. You see the real body, skin dia. That's the size and it's nice, it's round, it's big. Kalau bulu, you tak nampak real shape. You kalau tengok luar jambu. Lepas tu you sembelih dalam cuma tulang.
Macam if you have apa kucing yang long fur,
berbu,
bila you shave, kudut dia.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Macam Persian kan, you cukur tengok ya Allah kecilnya, kecil. Sama lah kan konsep dia. Dia don't
Tapi
understand.
dia ada got to do with cuaca juga ke? Untuk that's why kena shaving juga?
That's also. Kalau dia datang berbulu, they want to come here and they want to acclimatize,
Yeah.
it will take them much longer to get it done. Sebab dia dah luar dah panas. Dia pakai, macam kita pakai jaket pergi Afrika.
Ya.
Habis
Tak
lah.
payah Afrika. Singapore sekarang pun
Singapore
panas.
je
Nak
dah
pakai
panas.
wool jacket, you try lah.
Tak boleh.
Pula Singapura sekarang atau cuaca zaman sekarang ni pun lebih on the warmer side
On the warm
Betul.
side, yes.
So kita nak kena kasih kambing ni pun apa tu ready
Selesa
for dia
lah.
punya selesa
Selesa lah.
and everything.
So I think Sister Nabilah, can you run through back the process daripada you want to Australia tu nak bawa masuk sampai ke Singapore, sampai everything, all the
You
paperwork,
choose ke kambing ke
the
macam mana?
agencies, the permits,
Right.
all the paperwork that you have to
So
go through.
before we talk about
Itu panjang
the
tau cerita dia.
animals,
Besok habis dah.
I try to summarize.
Summarize.
Before you talk about the animals being permitted to come into Singapore, you have to do all the paperwork. You have to have your SOPs ready. You have to set up your layout, tentage, how you're going to, the flow of the operation. Theoretically, you have to plan it out and you have to submit to both SCAS, which is the Australian government that governs animal punya welfare, and also the Singapore side of things. You have SFA, NEA, AVS, so all the agencies, and they work together. So probably at the total, we probably deal with maybe 7-8 government agencies in total, right? And you have to appease everybody. Everybody have their own regulations.
Yeah.
So you have to clear that out, and that sets up to the planning of the possible operations on that day. Right, so that's one part. Big headache,
Big
right?
headache,
But
yes.
it's a headache that you have to go through in order to even get the clearance of, okay, now you can bring the animals in,
Yeah.
right? And because all the pre-audits of the location will be done before animals come in.
Yeah.
And then you have to go to the Australian side, right? You have to tell them what is the specs that you want. wool need to be shaven. This is the average weight, because kalau ni masuk plane, they count the weight of your whole load, right? So like Ashraf was saying, kalau kita ambil it with the wool, that also is charges that the plane will put onto us.
Nanti
right?
kan mahal kalau lagi mahal nanti bising juga kan.
Nanti bising juga, right? So that's why we have to tell our suppliers in Australia that it has to be within a specific spec, right? What's the average weight that we want? Because we know like average weight, probably we talk about what we always bring is about 40 kilos of the live weight, and then when you shave everything off, we get at least about 15 to 18 kilos of meat.
Okay.
Right, because that is important. Bila kita sahibul nak order, kadang-kadang they don't know. Kan kita ada 1/3 portion, 2/3 ke full. Kadang-kadang berat banyaknya 2/3 ni, tak jadilah. So we have to also educate that 1/3 average is about 5 to 6 kilos. Then they also prepare, I nak bawa balik 5 or 6 kilos ke, the whole animal is about 15 kilos, then I nak kena distribute, right? So I had the opportunity last year to be in the cargo plane from Australia. Right, and I think that was one of my first and one of the amazing experience. So kita sampai dekat the airport, and then you can see all these animals in crates being loaded onto the plane, and it's not that easy juga tau, because they have to wait bila dia sampai, go up to the crate, and that took about 1 or 2 hours. Right, and the plane was really special in a way. If you can bayangkan, you have the cockpit. And there's only like 4 seats. There's no steward or stewardess. So we had me and my we were with Kuchester, one of a social media influencer. We just the 4 of us. So kita macam specialnya ni the captain yang servekan kita food, right? So it was really cool. So the seat is just that, the cockpit and 4 seats, and then belakang is where is all the cargo. So you saw the animals being loaded onto crates at the cargo, and then we had to check I had to check everything's okay ke tak. They seal the door, and then off we go.
So the in-flight entertainment is bad.
Amazingly, you don't hear anything.
Oh my God!
You don't hear because I think of the cabin pressure and all that, you don't hear anything. But cuma when we were about to land, there was some smell lah, because by then the ammonia build up was already happening. But it was not. They all warned me it's going to be smelly, I said okay, I'm used to it.
Yeah.
But when it was about to land, adalah a bit of smell, but after that it was quite okay. So then you have to do this thing what we call brake bulking.
Okay.
Right. So that's the logistic part that I think orang tak nampak. And last year it was really interesting because we had planned for, because we have to use what do you call that?
Rams.
No, the trailer bed.
Trailer bed.
Okay, so you bayangkan lori yang flatbed trailer, you nak kena load in the crates. So when we were planning all of this thing, dia cakap ada berapa 16 crates. So 16 crates we still okay lah. One crate has one trailer bed ada 4. So for 8, 12, 16 ada 4. Bila I dekat sana, they told me the crate ada extra 1. So that means it's 17 crates. And I'm just like, Ashraf, it's 17 crates, and we have to find another trailer bed, right? Because dia kena cun-cun lah.
Yeah.
Betul.
So at that time it was like tengah malam I think 8 o'clock also, 8 or 10 o'clock. Okay, I find another trailer bed for you. 10 o'clock you nak find trailer bed kat mana? Right? So nasib baik the company that we were working with, the logistic part, they had 1 extra. So while I was flying off, they had to find last minute had to find 1 more trailer bed.
Ni semua benda-benda yang tak foresee
You don't foresee. We told them we need 16. We planned for 16. On the day itself, got 1 more. 1 more might be very small. Macam orang cakap, 1 more je apa? But that 1 more changes everything.
Ya, costing semua kena korang ubah
So even when we break we call it brake bulking, because you have to break the bulk, right? So it's in crates kan. So we had to go making sure that nanti bila dah sampai, animals dah arrive, you have to count. Because when you load the animals, mana boleh, okay ni satu you masuk sini satu you masuk sini they will all run, and there's a counting process that happens in Australia. And then when it arrives, they will just put an estimated number on the crate. Maybe this one 49, maybe for 58, ni 52. So when you come into Singapore, we know different malls ada different permutations kan?
Yes.
So on the spot when the animal arrives and the crate comes, you have to look at the kira-kira, and you have to do your mental calculation. Okay, this one goes where, this one goes where, this one goes where. Right? Because you don't want, say contohnya dekat masjid tentera, we bring it in this year 200. You don't want to be sending 250 or 159. Tak boleh. So you have to do the actual calculations as best as possible, and this is done on the spot. Right? And then you break it at all the places, and bila kambing keluar you have to count also. You have to account for it. And then kalau contohnya terlebih kat sini, we have to load that into our lorries to bring it to another location. So it's very kecoh, and this is done at 2 a.m. in the morning.
2 a.m. in the morning, just before
Hari Raya, a day or two before Hari Raya lah. Right? So these are the things that is on the ground that people don't see unless you're in it. And it's very it's kecoh, but we always say it's very fun kecoh. Dia macam, oh my god, what do we have to do? Okay, so it's a lot of teamwork, right? So alhamdulillah, we have a really amazing team, I would say. From last year, even the years before, even until this year, we have to work together. And this is a very high stress, time sensitive period. And the thing is, we're not only dealing with Singapore, we're dealing with all our other countries as well. So it has to be done in tandem. So dia macam high strung sikit lah, right? But when you have a good team, you have that support, then it makes things a lot easier lah.
And then I think it's also build up you punya strength dengan you punya macam experience. You dah pernah handle ni, so insyaAllah everything that goes come your way, at least you dah ada experience. And makin lama makin mungkin you belajar a point or two as years goes by. And I see myself, okay, this year Aliyah macam gini, okay, next year dia dah ada screen pula in terms of process and everything. So I think it gets better. Benda ni kita dia tak macam overnight tahulah benda ni certain things dia orang perlu ada peningkatan.
Kita find the problem, then we find the solution for it lah. Kalau ada choke point kat mana, kalau ada something that can be much faster, how do we do it? How can technology assist us in making things more streamlined? How can technology not backfire? How to entice the volunteers to stay on? Macam mana kita boleh dapatkan volunteers yang loyal? These are all things yang kita every year think about tau. Because it's a real issue. Kalau macam separuh jalan dia lari, ataupun separuh jalan you punya wifi tak ada signal, kecoh tau.
Yes, correct. They affect the whole process.
Correct. And people think that Qurban is just about slaughtering. It's not. There's a whole other process. The registration. At the point of registration, if that one chokes, then everything else will also fall into place. People think it's slaughter, we have so many slaughtermen every year. That is really an important job. But I also would say that all the other jobs are also equally important. Right? Because like say the ushers, the one who facilitates the registration, the one who provides the welfare and F&B for all the other volunteers. Right?
Itu kalau tak ada mengamuk tau.
Itu kalau tak ada mengamuk. Correct.
Makan tak ada, minum tak ada, boleh letak table.
Betul, right? So also from the skinning, butchering, the packaging, everybody plays, and for me, an equally crucial role. Right? So we don't like this idea of like, only this particular job is the job that we need to take care of. For us, we have to take care of everybody, because without everybody, we will not have that success.
Kira kan jaga paper tak glamour lah gitu. Jaga paper atau admin tak glamour.
But it's important.
That's why.
Absolutely important.
When I see masa dekat Masjid Firdaus when I volunteer tu, I cakap, this is my first time. I memang tak pernah volunteer mosque. So he always drag me to this kind of things.
Drag you
drag me. So after that, okay. So macam get to know things. Macam okay. So diorang buat dia punya administration point. And then I jadi tukang share lah. I share daripada diorang pergi sini. Okay, saya boleh korban, kambing dah ready. Then bawa diorang pergi sana lah. So I cakap, mula-mula takut malu tak kenal orang kan. But afterward, it's fun. Actually something that I really hold on dearly. Cakap, aku dah pernah tahu buat gini.
You know why that's crucial? Ushers are crucial because there's a rule, right? That sahibul has to be at the slaughter table, and you only have 10 seconds for the animals to be on the table before it gets slaughtered.
10 seconds
10 seconds.
So that means sahibul has to be there first. You tak boleh ambil kambing dulu. Right? Maybe you think, okay, sahibul tengah on the way, kita ambil kambing dulu. No. Sahibul has to be there first. Then we take the animal, and then it goes on the table. 10 seconds it has to be slaughtered.
Pernah tak sahibul komplain dia belum sampai tapi kambing dia dah kena slaughter?
Alhamdulillah tak. Right? Because we're very particular about that. Right? So imagine if the ushers, you think it's not an important job, it's a very crucial job. Kan? You have to make sure that the sahibul arrives, and then you tell the slaughterman, okay, now ready. They will tell the animal handlers, okay, ambil kambing. And then come.
I think there was one case. I think it was maybe in the Al-Wahida punya issue, kata salah. In the earlier part lah, the first time kita buat lah. He said that he was going to come in the morning. I think he took the first slot. Kita ada 3 slot. Waktu tu pun masih ada distancing protokol apa masih ada COVID kan. So he said he was going to come between the 8 to 12 punya slot. Dia datang I think lepas asar. Dia datang dalam pukul 4 to 6. Kambing semua dah habis. So dia datang,
dah habis.
saya punya kambing mana? You cakap you punya slot ni macam time. You yang book.
And then kita call dia tak angkat. And then we thought that maybe he's not coming lah.
So we slaughtered. And daging tu kita dah bagi dah. Dia tak ada. Kita dah bagi. Lepas dia datang, mana boleh macam gini?
No lah, kita tak bagilah. We had
there was some reserve. So
maksudnya 2/3 tu dah distributed lah. Dia tinggal 1/3 lah untuk dia.
Saya bising sekejap lah. Tapi kita pun serba salah lah kan.
Yelah.
Macam mana? Takkan kita nak tunggu sampai besok.
Yelah, and then you guys have a simulated timing that you guys can potong and then do all these thing. Nak kena habis. Volunteer takkan nak tunggu kau seorang dia.
Betul. Sebab ada seorang semua tunggu, tak fair juga.
Betul lah, understand
From your helicopter point of view, how you manage your locations?
Okay, first of all, helikopter tu punya spare part pun sampai.
Nanti order
Once dia dah sampai nanti let you know from that view lah. Tapi kalau bird's eye view masih
kalau drone boleh drone
boleh. So how we actually manage all of this is we have our ICs in all these locations lah. So every IC tu dah memang brief about A to Z of how things are supposed to be run. Plus they work together dengan the Qurban Operations Manager, the KOM kan. The KOM usually come from the masjid itself because they are more familiar with their own locations, their own setting, their volunteers. So bila kita implement let's say certain rules that is set by SFA and SCAS, it is relayed over to the KOM untuk disseminate to the different departments in the Qurban operations flow lah. And then on the day ataupun the day before, kita ada briefings, kita ada announcements made for the different groups. Okay, skinners, this is the SOP. Slaughtermen, these are the SOP. Ushers, admins, these are your SOP. So they are all disseminated with the information. On the day itself, kita will do pre-audit kan untuk SCAS kan? Dry run. And then we will do the SCAS punya auditing. That is when we kira macam nak start engine. So okay, slaughter hantar admin tengok mesin semua hidup ke tidak, bla 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 bla. That 10% is out of the way, then the punya event dah jalan terus. Usually macam gitulah dia punya setting.
I think we also are a company that likes to work collaboratively. Right, so we like to involve as much people as possible because that's our intention. You want to menegakkan or start the syiar again. You cannot do it alone. If you ask me right now, Nabilah, can you guys do this alone just on your own? I would wholeheartedly say I don't even want to do it like that. Right, so because we want it's
community lah,
community, that feel, right? Like because you volunteered, you know there's the roh in it. It's very much alive.
Actually, it's fun tau. Like you said, penat tapi fun.
Macam satisfaction tau. Puas. And we always want to work collaboratively. So we have mosque partners or even agencies. That's our rule of thumb. If you want you don't want to work collaboratively, then maybe it's not a fit for us to work together. If you want to work collaboratively, and you also have to follow, because the things that we also hear kan is kalau there's so many regulations. I didn't make these regulations. I just have to make sure that I execute it because it's my name on the line, my permits on the line, my reputation also on the line, right? And when you talk about Qurban happening pre-COVID, they had very different regulations. You did post-COVID, there's other regulations, and we will as much as possible advocate different things, right? Like macam previously, everybody had to use a mask.
Yes.
Even slaughtermen. And so we feedback to the agencies. We're like, it's hot. You talk about animal welfare. What about the human welfare? That's also very important. So when we negotiate and advocate for that, they say, okay, this time no need to wear mask. It might seem very small, but it's actually quite crucial because on the day itself, when you have to use mask, you dah kena blood, you nak kena buka. That's also cost, So there's so many things. These are the little things.
Belakang tabi punya benda yang orang anggap remeh, tapi it's actually
very important.
Very important, kan? But you only will able to advocate bila there's feedback, which we take in, and then we feedback to the agency.
Pernah tak kena hantam ke, kena whack ke mana-mana pihak in general? Barang tak cukup lah, ini kenapa salah spek lah, itu contoh lah.
There are always people who are smarter than us, but never done it before.
Or they've done it before, but now it's a different climate.
So when they say, kita pun take it with the pinch of salt lah. Mungkin pada waktu yang dia buat tu, dia punya specs, dia punya jumlah, the ease of getting it done is maybe much easier. But when it comes to us in this period, in this time, dia dah ada, oh now cannot this, must that. Oh now cannot do this, must do this. Oh now have to talk to this new agency, that new player. Then it becomes much more difficult to have something yang was available before.
So how do you knock? I use my terms. How do you knock their heads to make them understand? Kau kena ikut ini protokol.
Nak
ini
yang
dulu aku 20 tahun aku dah buat, kau
kata
kecil.
macam kasar, tapi macam how to make you understand ni.
Senang je. Senang je. Jangan ikut kita. Kita buat tempat lain. If you can do it on your own, you go and do. You do it on your own. If you need my help, you call me, I will help you. That's the best way to do it. So kita pun tak ada rasa salah, kita pun tak ada rasa kecil hati, kita pun tak ada rasa kau lebih hebat, aku lebih hebat, tak ada.
No.
You go and do your own story, you go and play your own game. You want to do how you want to do it, your own show, then you prove that it can be done. Kita pun puas hati, you pun puas hati.
Because at the end of the day is Qurban for Singaporeans. For we as a community, apa pasal nak mata-mata merah, apa pasal nak
tak payah gaduh-gaduh.
I think it's a waste of time and energy. To be honest, it's a waste of time and energy to have to deal with these things.
Habis kerja tergendala dan sebagainya.
Nak kena layan perasaan. Buat apa? Kita buat kita punya, kita rasa comfortable. Okay, sekian banyak kita boleh buat, alhamdulillah, tu rezeki kita. Kita tak nak cerita pasal nak bikin duit ni semua. Kita nak cerita, kita nak semua puas lepas buat kurban. Kita nak make sure apa yang kita buat tu, amal ibadah tu diterima. Kita nak make sure yang orang susah dapat terima daging dia. And we want to also not be accountable bila kita ke akhirat nanti.
Yes.
That's very important. You want to go and make your money, you go ahead. You want to go and find your volunteers and do your own way, go ahead. You want to get into trouble with the law, that's also your problem, not mine. Kan? End of the day, I jaga my principle, then I jaga my people. My people will also jaga me.
InsyaAllah.
When you run the operation, pernah tak masa that you really jam, dah mati akal lah, tak tahu nak buat apa?
Ada juga. Ada juga. So there was one time, okay, this is us in Singapore, and then there was issues happening in Indonesia.
Okay.
So waktu tu kita tengah sibuk tengah kurban first year ni, tiba-tiba dekat Indonesia hujan badai betul-betul macam storm tau. Jadi kat sana kemah-kemah yang kita set up semua berterbangan and all that. We couldn't finish the slaughter on the day itself. And then we had to fix back all the kemah, and I'm here kat Singapore ni.
Tak boleh nak buat apa, tak boleh nak terbang sana.
I boleh dengar cerita je. You get stuck. So Pak Bos, ini gimana ni Pak Bos? Ini di sini ni udah kayak gini, ada kambing mati, ada kambing lari. You got to find back the animals. If you cannot find the animals, you got to replace them, amanah orang kan. Nasib baik kita ada waktu tashrik tu untuk benda-benda macam ni lah. So the next day we managed to slaughter them. Tapi in a condition that was not as good as it was set up before lah. And these are all natural things that happen kan. So what can you do about it? You bersyukur je lah.
I think even kalau kat Singapore, one of our experience usually it's the skinning punya part, right? Because slaughter is fast.
Cepat je.
Slaughter is easy and it's very fast, right? Orang cakap, okay, tambahlah slaughter table. We always have this debate lah. How many slaughter tables at each location? I said, we cannot have too much. Nanti slaughter cepat, habis yang lain semua jam. Right? And skinning is an art form that not many are able to do. It's a niche area, right? That we're hoping over the years people get more interested to do the skinning part because it's very complex, right?
Dia bagi banyak masa lah nak buat.
Dia akan masa dia nak buang kulit tu, bukan dia macam serap, you know.
Saya pernah
buka zip.
Saya pernah nampak satu ni, tak silap ni Ustaz Gani ke apa kat tentera tu. Okay, kita belajar waktu saya bujang lagi lah, belasan early belum bujang. Dia tengok dia isi angin, kita biasa isi angin kan, dah gantung isi angin, dia tarik zrap dah habis, tak sampai 2 minit dah habis dah. Okay, next kita pun tercengang.
Ni mana yang terror lah ni, kena ada yang
tak sampai 2 minit skin dah off lah.
Itu dah biasa lah.
Dah biasa.
Ini memang I suka macam ni because they become teachers to new people tau. Orang baru tengok, alamak nak kena siap, penat lah, leceh lah, dia jadi take
dia bukan macam siap-siap, dia tarik sini tepi, dia macam buat V, terus
Betul.
Habis.
But that one ada compressor.
Compressor.
Not all mosque kat Singapore ada compressor.
Betul.
Right, so you have to do the manual way of pelan-pelan.
I see.
Ada yang siap, dia macam apa tau, dia macam best tau ni benda steam.
Dia suka. Dia suka.
Ini barang baik lah.
Ketenangan dia.
Aku macam ni zen tau. Buat dia punya
Dia punya ASMR.
Buat lagi tu kira pasang mic kan. Ada gitu. Jadi tu yang buat slow kan, tapi suka hati dia lah.
Asalkan kau buat.
Asal bahagia.
Mungkin dia very particular in terms of ni tak boleh gini gitu.
Mungkin OCD kan, nak keluar sekeping cantik.
Ya.
Tapi benda tu buang lah.
Benda tu.
Tapi
But
mungkin
still, it's
satisfaction.
Yes.
Over the years that I volunteer so far, melapar je tak pernah. But first I started off buang sampah. And daripada kecil, umur 11 tahun. Then after that jadi animal handler. Lepas tu slow on I move off into slaughtering and all. So I see the trend Singapore masih. So how long more do you think that Singapore we will be able to do live korban?
Ini satu soalan yang
soalan
susah nak
falsafah
jawab ni. Because we are hopeful that Australia do not put a ban on the export of live animals into Singapore or other parts of the country jugalah, because kita pun perlukan dekat lain-lain negeri ni kan. But there are talks about them wanting to ban livestock exports. By sea it has already happened. By air will be next. So if that happens, then there will be a problem for us to receive livestock lah. We probably have to do it modified.
Right, the meat is flown back into Singapore.
Yeah, so we cannot say for sure how long more. Tapi for as long as it is possible, we will try lah.
And as a company, what we have also done is, because we have partners lah who have done this for years that we learn from, kan? And what we did over the past 2 years is we train kita dah ada succession planning. Right, so that means I cannot wait until we're old or whatever to transfer the knowledge. The transfer of knowledge needs to happen now. So last year we had they call themselves the Avengers. Avengers, the 3 of them lah. Avengers punya team, where we told them, okay, this year you are going to run. You're gonna make sure that the layout is nice. You learn how to do the drawing. We're going to supervise. And these are in their 20s and early 30s. Punya our team members lah, right? And they say, betul ke boss? Like, you want us to do live korban? I said, yeah, why not? They're like, you serious? I said, yeah, we're serious, because we need to transfer the knowledge so that you do it this year with maximum supervision. You make your mistakes, but not core ones, because we'll be there to guide you. And then this year they're very excited to do it again, right? So for us, it's always about transferring the knowledge as early as we can, so then we groom at least the younger generation. So if something were to happen to us, we have the knowledge is still there.
Kita nak kena trust the process jugalah. Kalau kita just take control of everything, not teach anybody, then the ilmu is only stuck and it dies with us pun tak bagus kan.
So nak turunkan lah. So you memang look forward to ibadah korban every year atau macam mana?
Aizah Homes 9 gate 73542. Property journey begins here.
Talking about BTO, who is eligible to purchase them?
Okay, for BTO, they must be a first timer ataupun second timer buying HDB. For first timer, they are eligible for enhanced housing grant, but there's a ceiling cap. For family is up to 9,000, and for single is up to 4,000. They can apply for the EHG. But for second timer, that means they previously bought a direct HDB before, they bought resale with housing grant. If they were to buy another BTO, they are still eligible for the second BTO, but they need to pay resale levy based on the first subsidy flat that they purchased, which they sold, and they have to payment to the levy based on the type of flats that they own.
What is HFE and who is eligible for HFE?
HFE is actually HDB flat eligibility. Dulu when they want to buy a flat, they need to apply intend to buy. They also have to apply for HLE, housing loan eligibility. It's a separate application at all.
Okay.
But government have put them together. That is where the HFE come in. Inside this HFE, all the information is input. That means whether they're eligible to buy, how much grant they can get, what kind of loan they can get, how much loan they can get. Everything is inside. So it's much more easier. If you're talking who needs to apply for this HFE, anyone who intend to buy a HDB flat, whether it's a BTO, resale flat, they need to have this HFE. So my advice to those buyers buying BTO, make sure your HFE ready before the launch starts. And those who buying for resale flat, make sure your HFE ready before you go and shop around. Because without HFE, the seller or seller's agent cannot issue you option to purchase.
Okay.
Aizah Homes 9 gate 73542. Property journey begins here.
I can sense dah tu dua serentak.
Kalau I tell you honestly, kalau kita tak perlu buat, I tak nak buat. Honestly. Tapi sebabkan fardu kifayah tu, kita buat jugalah. Walaupun kita rasa macam alamak ni have to go through this whole thing again.
Pula sekarang you dah ada the knowledge, dah pernah buat, so dah makin berat ni.
Dah makin berat.
Dah pernah buat kan. So nak kata tak boleh, dah tak boleh. Dah kena boleh.
Dia macam every year, tak nak buat lah live korban.
Tapi buat juga.
Okay lah, kena buat jugalah.
Ada macam, kena buat live korban. Tahun ni masjid mana ada
But I think, when you get into the momentum of it, then you macam, the satisfaction is always there, right? I think
for this year, there's 2 additional locations. If I'm not mistaken, Istighfar and Masjid Jami Chulia. So will that increase more challenge to you? As far as I know, Istighfar is the open land space.
Yes.
So will that be a challenge to you?
It is a challenge sebab kita tak pernah buat dekat Istighfar. Firstly, secondly, tempat yang kita buat tu dekat atas slope sikit. So logistically it is challenging sebab you nak kena fix all the ramps, nak kena pasang kemah apa semua atas tu kan. Tapi I think it is not undoable lah. Benda tu kira boleh settle lah.
Because I was thinking as simple as macam mana tu air nak datang dari mana?
That is also our first question. Yes.
Air datang dari mana, elektrik pakai apa, kemah berapa besar, tanah tu rata ke tak rata,
animal movement macam mana, human movement macam mana,
sekiranya hari tu hujan lebat
macam mana, wet weather conditions
sampah buang kat mana, set up tear down siapa buat, sampah siapa jaga, monyet ada ke tidak, anjing ada ke tidak.
Betul. Situ we can see industrial ada je anjing kadang-kadang
ada. Babi pun ada.
Wild boar
ada juga. So then traffic issues, parking macam mana, sana parking kat flat, kat belakang industrial, belakang tu heavy vehicle parking. So all of these things nak kena consider tau. And then the movement of people and the movement of animals kan tak boleh cross.
Betul.
Kan binatang-binatang, orang-orang. Habis nak pasang nak susun dia punya layout ni. Okey, ni kambing jalan mana? Ini orang jalan mana? Ini sampah bawa mana?
Jalan macam mana? Kita also don't want to cross.
Cross sampah.
Yeah.
Kambing dah mati tak boleh nampak kambing yang hidup. So all this thing nak kena fikir. So it's a yearly challenge lah.
Very detail every detail.
It's
smallest thing that you think macam tapi actually macam mana jalan kat mana ni semua nak kena tahu.
Then after you all dah done with the korban, the aftermath tu macam mana? The cleaning.
Cleaning is always interesting in a way.
Macam mana tu you all handle the cleaning?
Because you see our experience the start of the day people semangat.
Betul.
At the end of the day dah pancit. Right? So what we have also changed in a way is let's have 2 shifts. Morning shift and afternoon shift. Right? So you yang morning, after that you dah chill lah. And then you datang petang you masih semangat. Then you can last until the end of the day. And then we will have the cleaning coming only towards the later part of the day for tear down. Right? So you have to segment it. Kalau macam semua orang yang start daripada dia juga yang angkat the trash dia juga yang hantar from first slaughter. By the time dah tear down dah, I don't have energy anymore.
Bang, saya kaki pun tak boleh angkat bang. Abang suruh angkat
Bang, mata tak boleh buka bang.
Nanti kena angkat dia macam kambing tau.
The smell tu macam mana nak hilangkan tu?
So usually in the previous years lah, kita always have this issue lah. Sebab darah ni kita tak nampak. When they are on the floor, darah ni dia jadi kering kan. Dia jadi satu colour dengan tar dengan rumput semua. Tapi bau ada. So we're not sure how to get this rid of, or how can we identify where the blood is on that end. So kita decided to have the track where we are going to throw the rubbish to be the place where the dirty parts are going to be at. The rest are all the animals punya area kan. Then mungkin some dirty parts dekat packing lah, mungkin darah tertumpah sikit whatever. And then this is not just management of the blood and spillage and whatever. The ammonia punya control ni, initially kita pakai sabun lah, pakai Dettol lah, apa semua, tak load juga. Tahun ni kita panggil cleaning company yang ada effective microorganism to eat up ammonia. Kita panggil dia datang, they might be sponsoring us some of their punya solutions, and then we want to test this year to see if it works or not. Before we go into Qurban, I'm taking some to go to the farm and see whether it works at the farm. Kalau kat farm level it works, then insyaAllah dekat all this location it should work. Then that could be the next years punya protokol lah kita kena ada di cleaning company kan.
This is interesting.
Betul.
Mata bangla yang sental.
Correct.
Yang kita sekali.
But it's also, also a common knowledge in a way that when you do Qurban at your location, there will still be some bau-bau that is also beyond our control. You can't go dig up the whole place.
Betul.
You know, that's not possible.
Tak
so I think
boleh lah.
most of the time the mosques are also understandable that it needs a bit of time to regenerate for the bau to hilang and all
Kita
that.
selalu cakap kan cemen-cemen je lah. Kadang-kadang bau tu kenangan. Kita ambil positif benda tu kan. Benda tu kenangan. Berapa lama you boleh fikir?
The smell of sacrifice.
The smell of sacrifice.
Yeah, that's another way to look at it.
And the smell of patience.
Betul.
So to wrap up this session, when you look back at your business, Aliyah Rizq today, what makes you feel grateful and want to continue on?
Kalau grateful, there's a lot of things to be grateful for lah. Kita ada a lot of staff yang dedicated and loyal to the work. They are willing to learn, they are willing to take the challenge, willing to burn their midnights, to go the extra mile to make sure that everything is running on proper kan. And then when it comes to doing business, we have a lot of support from friends, from agencies. Kita pun dapat support daripada governments now, because they see that what we are doing in the past couple of years to have been has been good and it has been growing kan. So they've also find the need to give us that kind of support lah. So that has been very encouraging. Jadi kita grateful for those things, and especially most importantly is family lah, support kan. We have initially family members who say negative things, but now they have seen the fruit of the labor and they are now supportive of what we do. We also have family members who initially don't understand kenapa kita buat benda ni. Apa kau buat ni, kau jadi peternak ni, benda ni boleh bikin ke tidak ke, macam-macam negativity lah. But now when they see it, then they are also accepting of the business. Now we have a lot of universities also coming together to work together with us untuk internship, untuk educational materials, R&D and all that. So all these things make us very happy lah kan, puas, grateful, and you know, this spreads the love to the others as well lah.
Then what is your advice since you are a couple managing business?
Pasal kita pun nak take note ni.
Kita pun nak take note juga.
Kita pun nak take note ni sebab kita having a business husband and wife bukan mudah.
Oh yes.
Yeah, dia banyak liku-liku dan juga
Banyak layers.
So how do you advise to people macam kita ni semua?
Ni kita kasih the therapist cakap lah.
Yeah.
I think for us, I mean, of course, when we first started, lagi baru kahwin, there's a lot of miscommunication, lot of arguments, lot of loggerheads lah. Right? Because I'm very opinionated, he's also very opinionated. So when we run business together and then we're husband and wife, it can get very confusing. You tengah argue dengan I as you, how dare you raise your voice to me? You know, that kind. How dare you disagree? But then so we had to have this system where, okay, I'm not challenging you as a husband, I'm challenging you as a business partner. I'm your business partner, right? So we need to cover each other's blind spots.
Yes.
Right? So this argument is not a personal argument, it's a business argument. Right? If you want to, he's a risk taker. Right?
Okay.
And I have to, I'm also a risk taker, but because he's so much of a risk taker,
You
I have
kena
to be
save.
the other side where I'm like, okay, let's manage the risk. So the question that I'm asking you, so I and my team knows this, I tell them, when I ask you question, it's not to say no, it's to allow you to say yes. You need to be able to cover all of these holes. If I can think of the things that can go wrong, let's find a way now in the discussion punya point in order to
Backup
cover the holes lah.
Yeah,
Then we know this proposal ataupun this business idea is solid.
I see.
So in that sense, you have to have a lot of patience.
A lot of
A
patience.
lot of
Dengan
patience.
lembut
Sometimes it also helps in the names we use.
Okay.
Kadang-kadang I dengan my wife, kalau kita talking as husband and wife, kita panggil B pergi balik kan, B di sini, B
Sayang,
sayang kan. Tapi bila dia kerja kan, she calls me boss.
Oh.
So dia panggil boss kan, tahu okay ni bukan ni bukan bini.
You draw the line lah.
Ni tak ada ayang-ayang lah. Tak ada manja
Tak ada,
sekarang.
tak ada.
Kat office tak ada manja-manja, tak ada. Kacau-kacau adalah, tapi tak ada macam manja-manja, tak ada.
So I will also like, okay, he's my CEO. When I talk to people, okay, I have to check my CEO. And then he will say, I have to check my finance, Minister of Finance. I say, okay. Then, so the staff also knows that when we argue, even at work, when we disagree, it's because it's your finance and your CEO who are, and your operations is the one who is trying to solidify things. Bukannya gaduh for the sake of argument.
Suka-suka.
Who got time for that, right?
Dia tanya, bos, kenapa tak boleh minta you duit? Cakap, I tak pegang duit. Kan, you nak you minta MOF. Masalah pergi hantar you proposal. Saya minta macam ni. Kau ingat aku apa? Tanam pokok dapat duit. Orang pokok apa?
Masya-Allah. So banyak sabar
And I think it's important when you have to take the time to also reflect, right? Because I think sometimes for us we're very fast. You not do this thing, you not do that thing. Sometimes we forget the part where we're still a couple. Because sometimes when you work together, that's the only conversation you have. So I tell him, kat rumah I don't want to talk about business. Weekend is like family time, right? Because you need to still maintain that relationship that you started off with. You didn't start off as a business partner. You started off as a partner in life. You started off with husband and wife. You're also parents. And these are the other roles that you can sometimes forget, right? Or not pay enough attention to. So paying attention to that part of the relationship, I believe will also help you in the synergy that you have in the working relationship.
Kadang-kadang terselit juga. Duduk-duduk kan, tengah nak tidur, tak boleh tertidur, terfikir kan. This one what happened lah? Work related things kan. Jangan cakap pasal benda ni lah. Dah pukul berapa ni kan? Nanti lepas tu dia pun tak boleh tidur. Kita dah bangun, dah buka laptop, dah start ketuk benda happens.
Dia macam trigger. Okay fine.
Lala dua-dua tak tidur. Faham.
But also but I think when Ashraf cakap pasal we have space where we need to be comfortable with each other to share a lot of things. Kadang-kadang kita pun nak curhat pasal the things that's happening at work, right? You also cannot avoid that, kan? So bila
curhat kat office tak boleh.
Nak curhat kat office tak boleh. Curhat kat rumah lah. Tadi macam mana. Itu happens at home lah, kan?
Macam ni budak kan alamak aku pergi bingit dengan dia kan.
So tu yang tu macam okay kat rumah. Tu kan macam tengah berbual-bual to discuss, and I think your wife, certain people say your wife is not your best friend, tapi I think just certain things yang kita tak boleh cakap dengan orang lain. Macam you cakap yang your wife aja yang faham you punya character, you punya limitations, and also yourself, macam mana you handle things. And that's where yelah, suami isteri berbual kadang-kadang tengah malam ni lah dia berbual kan.
The curhat session comes out lah. But so it's about work, but it's not because you nak solve a problem at work. You just want to lend a supportive ear to your partner because this is the struggle they're going through at work that you also happen to be in the same space for.
Nak cari kasih sayang.
Cari kasih sayang, nak manja-manja je lah.
Manja-manja sikit lah. Dengar orang lain punya problem hari-hari, kita pun nak orang dengar problem kita lah.
Betul. Like our our wife is like our punching bag. Kita boring dengan orang, kita punch dia. Tapi bukan punch betul lah.
Sparring.
Dia banyak sebenarnya suami yang kena punching bag kadang-kadang.
Biasa.
Pasal dia dah macam-macam.
Saya tu betul.
Pasal dengan dia jugalah nanti dia dengar je kan.
So maybe kita tak payah be each other's punching bag. We get another punching bag and we just do it there.
Biarlah dia kena punch. Kita jangan punch each
Nanti
other.
buka satu job scope tu lah. I will open that job for somebody. Punching bag.
Dia dah datang dah kusut masai.
Dia punya ni tak banyak. Berapa kaki kena tahan, kuat tahan maki.
Diam aja.
Ya
Okey
tuan.
bos.
Saya salah tuan.
Lagi dah tu je.
Itu dia. So insyaAllah
InsyaAllah kita doakan for Singapore lah, for Singapore in general, that this year will be a success.
And also your businesses dekat Desaru, Kenya, mana-mana tu semua operation semua, everything goes
Amin.
as smooth as possible. So saya harap as the days approaching by, dia makin dekat, makin tak boleh tidur malam.
Makin tak boleh tidur.
So hopefully dia makin dipermudahkan urusannya, tak ada hiccup sangat lah. I mean hiccups tu macam tak nak cakap tak ada. I hope it's simpler hiccups.
Hiccups that you can overcome lah.
Yes, correct. And insyaAllah semua smooth, everything semua
Yes.
insyaAllah.
And then for those who are volunteering for Qurban, especially those volunteering for Aliyah Rizq, what is your both punya nasihat to them?
Kalau kita volunteer, kita kena have this mindset that we are doing it for the sake of God. Not just for the sake of being a volunteer. And then have the entitlement sebagai seorang volunteer sebab you're not being paid. You're not being paid through the company. You're being paid through him. You buat benda tu bukan untuk you sendiri. You buat benda tu untuk umat. You buat benda tu untuk masyarakat. You buat benda tu untuk masjid. You buat benda tu untuk the vendor. You buat benda tu untuk you punya your peers at the same time. So if you are not able to commit, and then you don't fulfill you punya, let's say, your time lah, you alone will cause a massive chain of pain across the whole line because of the lack of manpower and the lack of dedication. So if you want to do it, I would suggest sebelum you daftar, ikhlaskan hati dulu, kan? Ikhlaskan hati, relakan hari tu sebagai hari tu untuk kurban. The name Qurban alone means you got to sacrifice not just your time, but also your feelings, also your effort, also your sweat, your tears, everything. You korbankan semuanya, kan? And you become a volunteer for that to get the best or the most barakah that you can get. Bukan sekadar datang sebagai volunteer, lepas tu dah habis aku dah penat aku balik. No. Do as much as you can. And if you have to go back pun, kan, it is because that you know you have done your best. You have done your best, and it is not an excuse just to, feel good about yourself. Everybody must also feel good about you. Then you know that you have done your part.
Okay.
That's my advice lah.
Sister
I
Nabilah?
think for me, it would be, we are doing, I think everybody including us, with our own limitations. Kita tak perfect, right? We plan for a very smooth operation, but hiccups and challenges can happen, right? And we take that as risk for us to learn, right? We learn from our mistakes and we grow from there. So my request would also be, kalau ada kekurangan, please forgive us in advance. And if the kekurangan is something that you feel very strongly about, come to us and tell us about it.
Okay.
Right? So because we want to improve. Mungkin ada benda yang kita tak tersilap pandang ke, kita tak pay too much attention to it. So I'd rather than you talk and you say, alamak Aliyah ni macam gini dia tak gini, tak ada hasil, right? The hasil would be if you come to me and say, hey Nabilah, I was volunteering here, these are the things that I'm not happy about. For me, don't stop there. Don't just complain about it.
But
you tell
tell
me,
us.
okay, how do we improve? And that would be constructive feedback for me.
Jangan jadi keyboard warrior.
No need lah.
It's better to approach Sister Nabilah or find email, go through proper channel, and then give
Be
you
a friend lah.
Yeah,
Be a friend.
let us know.
Tell us what is going on. Help us understand the situation on the ground, because we are not there. We don't have all our eyes in all the places. So if you come to us and tell us the things that were happening, and then we can listen to you and understand what's going on, then we will make it
We'll
better.
improve
We
it.
will improve it.
Yeah.
Kan kita bukan jenis yang sombong, tak dengar cakap, kita riak tak buru tak. Kita want to,
InsyaAllah
InsyaAllah kita nak build more friends, and that's also the hashtag that we carry on our badge for the past decade, building relationships.
Sheeps.
Oh,
That's nice.
Building
Kita nak
relationships.
build more friends, make more friends, have more connections. That's the way to do it lah. so that the things that we do in the following years to come become smoother and better kan.
So give us the feedback directly, then we'll learn from it, and then that would be pahala for you too, right? If it's something very crucial yang kita tak tengok, and then you give us that feedback and we like, this is actually very important, and we do that again differently next year. That idea came from you, and may Allah, bless you for that idea, right? So come and talk to us about it, not spread things, and then then it just will leave a very unpleasant aftertaste lah, right? And I mean, I thank all the volunteers for all these years. Thank you to both of you for volunteering with us and inviting us as well and making dua for us, right? My parents always have this thing where they're like, Umi Abah tak buat banyak benda for the company, right? They are our first investors. My father is our advisor. So any hukum punya saran kita tak sure, Abah, can you help us? And then they're like, kita doakan aja. For me, that's the ultimate rizq or blessing that we can have, which is doa. Especially doa of our parents. I think it's crucial. And I'm like, we don't know how many times that your doa has saved us from something that we did not see, right? Or maybe we face a certain roadblock and your doa is, Ya Allah, selamatkanlah Nabilah and Ashraf in the business. And then we go into that roadblock. And then we think like, alamak, this business tak jadi this avenue tak jadi. But padahal it's something that menyelamatkan kita and we didn't know, right? So for me, the ultimate risk is the dua of your parents. And I mean, alhamdulillah, I still have my father, my mother, and that can make this dua for us. So if you all, whoever sees this, also please make dua for us, because we don't know whose dua Allah will listen to, and please doakan yang baik-baiklah untuk kita semua, insyaAllah.
So we have come to the last session where we will very lovely like to hear whatever services. Sesi jual minyak. Jual minyak.
Jual. Hari ni ada minyak senyonyo, ada minyak urut, minyak agama.
Saya nak minyak telon.
Especially we personally want to know about the investment kambing tu macam mana.
Itu interesting tu, saya terlalu tengok kat TikTok, tapi kadang-kadang Muhammad dah swipe lah.
I mean, that's not an investment per se. We call it ownership. Own a sheep. Jadi ownership.
That's nice.
If you haven't noticed, we're very punny. Okay, I'm the lame punny person that comes up with all these things.
Ada masih ikut lah.
It's non-negotiable. So the ownership program is where you buy an amount of kambing with us, and we provide that service of taking care of the kambing and breed it for you. Right? It's usually it's about a 3-year plan where it's called ownership because you actually own the sheep. Kira macam jual beli. Saya jualkan awak ini kambing, awak beli, and it's your asset, but we're taking care of your assets to give feed, shelter, manja-manjakan for the next 3 years for breeding, and you get your returns of your hasil usually about 3 years later lah.
So apa kita boleh buat dengan kambing tu?
So there are a few things you can do. First is you can take all these animals out, and then you want to set up your own farms. But a lot of Singaporeans ada tanah-tanah parents dia lah, auntie uncle apa semua kan. That's how we started also. If you want to have your own little farm somewhere with your animals, we can send the animals over to that place. We can even help you to set it up. Kita consult, we teach you how to do it. Come to the farm, belajar when you take it out and everything. And then run this small farm, and if you have nowhere to sell the animals to, you can have the contract to be signed with us. We can become your off-takers to buy. So we have more clusters that we develop in that way, and we also have somebody else that we know came from our line of animals that we can trust in the purchase or in the sale. That's one way. Second is you can outrightly sell these animals out. You nak jual sendiri ke, you nak kita jualkan ke, you nak sambung dinding ke, nak bengkok dinding ke. That one is up to you, because at the end of the day these animals belong to you.
I see.
So how you want it to be sold, it is your discretion. We just assist you accordingly lah. So there are multiple ways to skin the cat. Basically, because they belong to you, we take instruction from you as the owner.
So we provide the service of taking care of it lah, right? So kira macam you, because these animals breed, right? You want your money to grow, right? So one way is in the animals that can produce, right? So at the end of like say you start with 8, at the end of it you dapat how many?
1 to 8.
1 to 8 kambing, for example. But this is a long game. Right? Because you cannot force the animals to breed. I want you to have twins and triplets, otherwise it's not like that. right? So there are some risk involved. Definitely, there's nothing that has no risk. But you also can see in a way the flock grows, and that would be your assets that you can do what you want to do with later lah.
We have been doing this for the past 10 years. And there have been many people who joined us, cashed out, continued, macam-macam lah. Some of them became partners in business. Some of them became cluster farmers. And then that also became the reason why Desaru is how it is like today. Kita dah jadi macam ecotourism center. We got support from the government for people to come over because we are in Desaru, tempat orang memang datang untuk tourism punya activities kan. And then the things that are being offered in Desaru right now are not many. So we become one of the places of attraction. Sebab apa? Tempat kita tu macam zoo yang memang orang boleh dekat, boleh touch the animals, boleh bawa family, ride the ATV.
So whatever apa binatang-binatang lain yang kita boleh pegang kat sana,
semua boleh pegang.
So anyway, you can see camel, you can see horses, we have chicken, turkey,
kerbau, lembu, ayam,
peacock,
itik,
ayam macam-macam nonsense lah dia beli. Batiknya ayam lah, silky chicken
ayam
lah,
Itali, ayam batik, ayam
all of
macam
that. And then you have our different breeds of kambing. We have pygmy goats, you know those little
itulah
Oh,
comel
yeah.
ada baca. Ada baca dekat dia punya
Pygmy
website.
goat.
Pygmy goat yang lompat-lompat
Dia berlompat,
tu.
comel,
Habis
comel.
yang takut nanti dia keras.
So we have all the different. Kalau you penggemar kambing, you see at least probably 10 different breed types. And then you can see lah. Yeah.
We got the buffaloes, we got camels yang dah beranak, so we have baby camels now.
Alah comelnya.
We are growing coffee with a partner dekat kita punya bukit tu. So you'll be able to see coffee coming out in the next 2 or 3 years.
So boleh sip coffee kat situ sekali.
Hopefully.
Robusta coffee.
Kita ada plan because we have one bukit that has very nice view of the sea. Because kita nearby the sea, kita angan-angan lah, let's have a cafe atas. Cafe with the view and kita sip coffee. Sekarang ni what the staff did is ada buayan. Bit from the kayu-kayu from the forest lah, we cleared up. Kita naik ATV lah, naik atas itu, naik ATV, duduk chill sekejap, disconnect, and then okay, back down.
Macam about feel of the cafe. So we are going to make a cafe kat atas tu. Ni kira puncak tanah tu lah. That cafe will have the workshop there as well. So you see them roasting the coffee as you go. We already got the baristas yang memang akan buat kopi ni. They are able to make you the medium roast lah, dark roast lah, cherry flavor lah, whatever. Semua dia yang pandai. Kita tak tahu, kita cuma tahu minum kopi je. But the ambience that we want to have is that when people come over to the farm, they not only just get to see the animals, but at the end of the day they can bring or taste produce yang kita ada from the farm. So kat cafe tu nanti you nak order your lamb chop ke, you nak order your steak ke, you nak you punya coffee ke, you nak makan nasi dengan sayur-sayur ulam apa semua from the farm, you can get it fresh from the farm. You know?
That's one of maybe 2-3 years down the line punya game plan lah.
Mudahkan urusannya semua.
Bila ni nak pergi Desaru ni?
Itulah actually I be asking bila nak pergi Hana pergi Alaris punya farm. So bila nak bawa Aina?
Bila nak bawa dia?
Kita anytime.
Okay. But just for to put it into record, it's a bit off road.
Yeah.
Right, and we want to keep it that way for now, so that it's a bit rustic experience. If we do it macam everything is super prim and proper, that's a zoo. It's not a farm. Right, so we are in the business of farming. It has to be a bit rugged. It is what it is, right? And so if you want to need to be mentally prepared lah. I'm just saying this because we might think that pergi sana nanti macam Singapore punya setup. It's not like that.
So kereta yang lowered memang
lower
agak cabaran
better
dah.
not, but we are as much as possible trying to clear out the road to make it a bit more smoother lah. That's what we do every few months.
2-3 times kita akan repair jalan tu, kasih rata sikit.
Dia rugged sikit lah. Just don't tell me I didn't warn you.
I tried going alone. Adalah handphone tu bateri tu tinggal berapa je. Habis pergi sendiri, internet pun tak kuat sangat. Ni kalau aku jadi apa-apa kat tengah ni, bini aku tak tahu. Oh mampus.
Because we don't have a car. So that time we went with my father's Honda. Dia jadi dia punya kereta pun dah macam dah tua sikit. Lepas tu dia cakap macam alamak, macam mana ni? Takut pasal dia cakap kereta bapak pun tua, takut rosak. Dia cakap takut terlanggar. So dia cakap macam gitu. Dia kadang-kadang nature lah. Dia asli nature.
But kat farm dah ada wifi. So you dah redah tu, kat farm ada wifi.
Dia kadang-kadang orang lain dia macam mana nak Instagram, nak upload ni semua kan.
Orang tak boleh dah.
Orang kalau macam tak makan tak apa, kadang-kadang tak ada Instagram, tak ada wifi ni.
But that's actually one of the beauty when we didn't have wifi. For the longest time I said tak nak wifi because that's where you actually disconnect. Otherwise if you go there, the kids are with the phone, we're with the phone, and then
Tak
you
rasa
don't
nature.
enjoy. So when no choice, right? Okay lah, fine lah. If we have kids like that lah. Datang macam, why am I here? Complain. And I want to play my phone, cannot. Mommy say, okay, let's just go. And then they get curious. And after a while, you see them running around happily. And the parents are like, oh my God, that's like what I want from my kids. You know?
Tak nak balik.
Tak nak balik.
Nak balik.
Nak, you know,
Nangis balik, nangis.
nangis.
Kasih phone pun tak nak lagi dah.
Bagus.
Good lah, for a while. Hopefully it continues.
Kalau nak disconnect boleh lah pergi sana.
If they want to book services dekat sana, main ATV ke apa, how do they do it?
Boleh datang terus ke macam
Datang
mana?
terus ke?
Okay, you can actually walk in, no problem. You can walk in. You can also contact us, kan? You can go to our socials. You can also go to our website. Then you can maybe send us DMs from there lah. The website is www.aliyahrisk.com. And then from there you can see our services atau contact us and all that kan. You can make our bookings and everything lah. Kalau you PM us through socials, faster. Kalau daripada Instagram ke, daripada Facebook ke TikTok kan, saying that you want to come and visit, most likely the tourism team will take up the message and then they will start talking to you lah. If you leave your contact number ataupun you leave your email address, then it's faster for us to react to it lah.
I did leave my socials and that time approach on social tu nak tengok kambingnya. Lepas tu tak jadi pergi pasal Muhammad was sleeping tu. Minta maaf lah tourism team.
It's okay, dimaafkan.
Okay.
Jadi we are so glad and happy to have again Brother Ashraf and Sister Nabilah.
Thank you so much for coming. Sudi
for having us.
datang.
Dia
Thank
datang
you for
untuk
inviting.
share experience, share knowledge, share family tips. Kita ni baru kahwin setahun jagung, baby pun baru setahun jagung. So that, you teach us things, you teach us how to balance between marriage and business. Tu yang penting. Dan dalam podcast ni pun kita pun ada juga cekau-cekau juga.
Hitty moments.
Ada cekau-cekau juga. Jadi alhamdulillah we learn from each other, and we hope we learn new tips from you. Dan insyaAllah as always our doa is for Rizq to continue and to assist Singaporeans doing Qurban.
Amin, insyaAllah.
Okay, so with that we will close the session with tasbih kafarah, salat al-as and small dua. Subhanakallahumma bihamdika asyhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Al-asr insana lafi khusr illa alladhina amanu wa amilus solihat wa tawassaw bil haqq wa tawassaw bis sabr. Rabbi yassir wa la tu'assir, rabbi tamim bi khair, rabbi yassir wa la tu'assir, rabbi tamim bi khair, rabbi yassir wa la tu'assir, rabbi tamim bi khair. Ya Allah, bil khusus untuk Aliyah Rizq dan semua yang melakukan ibadah kurban di Singapura pada tahun ini, Allah permudahkanlah. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam Muhammad wa alihi wasallam. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Hadanallahu iyyakum wa afu minkum. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.